Your heart doesn't just beat to live, it beats to what you feed it. Diet is the most powerful tool to protect your heart, but not all diets are created equal. Today, we break down the top 3 heart-healthy diets that doctors and cardiologists trust. Every year, millions of Americans over 60 are told they have high blood pressure, high cholesterol, or signs of heart disease. And in many cases, it all ties back to what's on their plate. The typical American diet is dangerously overloaded with sodium, added sugars, processed meats, and unhealthy fats. Fast food has become the norm, and portion sizes have quietly doubled over the last few decades. While medications are often prescribed, many people overlook a simpler, more powerful tool: nutrition. That's where this video comes in. If you're over 60 or care for someone who is, this could be the most important 10 minutes you spend this week. In this video, we're taking a deep dive into 3 of the most trusted diets for heart health: the DASH diet, the Mediterranean diet, and the low-sodium diet. These are not fad trends. They're time-tested, research-backed eating patterns recommended by top cardiologists and institutions like the American Heart Association. You'll learn why diet matters more than ever after 60, as our bodies become more sensitive to salt, fat, and sugar. We'll show you the key differences between each of these diets so you can choose the one that best fits your lifestyle and health goals. For example, the DASH diet focuses on reducing blood pressure with nutrient-rich foods like leafy greens, low-fat dairy, and lean proteins. The Mediterranean diet emphasizes healthy fats like olive oil and nuts, along with plenty of vegetables and seafood. And the low-sodium diet helps protect against water retention and high blood pressure by minimizing salt from processed foods. We'll also give you real food examples, what to eat, and what to avoid. Think roasted salmon with quinoa and vegetables instead of a salty deli sandwich, or swapping sugary snacks with heart-healthy nuts or berries. You'll see that eating for your heart doesn't mean giving up flavor. It means making simple, smart swaps that your body will thank you for. By the end of this video, you'll walk away with clear, actionable steps you can take today to strengthen your heart, improve your energy, and feel confident that you're fueling your body for a healthier future. If this video helps you see food in a new way, please give it a like. Don't forget to subscribe to Senior Health Source for more heart-smart, senior-friendly wellness tips every week. And if someone you love is over 60, share this video with them. It might just add years to their life. Let's start with a question you probably haven't asked yourself today. What did your last meal do to your heart? It might sound dramatic, but it's not. Every bite you take either strengthens your heart or silently chips away at it. In fact, poor diet is now the leading cause of heart disease in the United States, surpassing even smoking. Yes, what's on your plate can be more dangerous than what's in your lungs. You see, your heart isn't just affected by emotions, it's deeply influenced by food. Diets high in sodium, saturated fats, and added sugars can wreak havoc inside your body. These foods raise blood pressure, stiffen your arteries, and force your heart to work overtime. Think of it like this. Every salty fast food meal is like turning up the pressure in your home's plumbing. Eventually, something bursts. Then there's cholesterol. That word alone has probably haunted your doctor visits. LDL, or bad cholesterol, builds up in your arteries like sludge in a pipe. A poor diet, heavy on red meats, fried foods, and processed snacks, turns your bloodstream into a slow, sticky mess. Over time, this buildup causes atherosclerosis, setting the stage for heart attacks and strokes. And let's not forget inflammation, the body's silent saboteur. Foods high in refined carbs and artificial oils ignite chronic inflammation, damaging the inner lining of blood vessels. This makes it easier for cholesterol to stick and harder for your heart to do its job. But here's the good news. It's not irreversible. Switching to a heart-healthy diet, like the DASH or Mediterranean plan, can lower your blood pressure, improve cholesterol levels, and reduce inflammation all at once. These aren't fad diets, they're doctor-approved, evidence-backed strategies that work. People who adopt these eating patterns don't just live longer. They thrive longer, with more energy, fewer medications, and a dramatically lower risk of cardiovascular events. So now that you know diet is one of your heart's biggest allies or enemies, let's zoom in on one of the sneakiest culprits out there: sodium. You've probably heard it before: cut down on salt. But let's be honest, what does that really mean? A pinch here, a sprinkle there. Surely that's not a big deal, right? Well, here's the truth. Most Americans aren't just adding salt, they're drowning in it. The average person in the US consumes over 3,400 milligrams of sodium every single day. That's nearly 50% more than the recommended maximum of 2,300 milligrams per day, and double the ideal limit of 1,500 milligrams for people with high blood pressure, kidney issues, or heart disease risk. And here's the kicker. Most of that sodium doesn't come from your salt shaker. It's hiding in plain sight. Think about your last trip to the grocery store. Canned soups that seem innocent? They often pack 700 to 1,000 milligrams of sodium per serving. A single frozen dinner can contain over 1,200 milligrams. Those tasty deli meats or bacon? Loaded. Even sauces like soy sauce or bottled salad dressings. Salt bombs. And we haven't even mentioned the chips, fries, snack bars, and processed cheese. But why is sodium such a big deal for your heart? Here's how it works. When you eat too much salt, your body retains more water to dilute the excess sodium in your bloodstream. This increases the volume of blood your heart has to pump, like turning up the pressure in a garden hose. Over time, this constant high pressure damages your arteries, thickens the heart muscle, and raises your risk of heart failure, stroke, and kidney disease. In fact, studies show that just a modest reduction in sodium, 1,000 milligrams less per day, can lower your blood pressure and reduce your risk of heart disease by 10 to 20%. That's a big return for a simple dietary change. So what's the solution? You don't have to give up flavor. You just have to get smarter in the kitchen and at the grocery store. Healthy swaps that keep your heart happy. Instead of reaching for the salt shaker, try fresh or dried herbs. Basil, oregano, thyme, rosemary, dill. These add layers of flavor without a milligram of sodium. Citrus juice or zest, a squeeze of lemon or lime wakes up your dish and your taste buds. Garlic, onion, and ginger. These bold ingredients bring depth and aroma to any savory meal. Vinegars, apple cider, balsamic, red wine, these provide tang without the salt. Salt-free spice blends. Look for options like Mrs. Dash or make your own at home. When shopping, read the labels. Look for low sodium, 140 milligrams or less per serving. No salt added. Sodium-free, under 5 milligrams per serving. And remember, just because it's labeled organic or healthy doesn't mean it's low in sodium. Some healthy veggie burgers or soups still sneak in hundreds of milligrams per serving. Let's talk taste. If you're worried about flavor, here's the good news. Your taste buds can adapt. After just 2 to 3 weeks of lowering sodium, food starts to taste better. Naturally, you begin to appreciate the sweetness of tomatoes, the nuttiness of whole grains, and the real taste of vegetables without the salt curtain masking it all. Need some real-life inspiration? Take John, a 62-year-old retiree who was eating fast food several times a week and using salt on every meal. His blood pressure was consistently hovering at 150 and 95. After switching to a low-sodium diet, ditching processed snacks and embracing homemade meals flavored with herbs, he dropped 10 pounds, lowered his BP to 125/78, and said, "I didn't lose taste. I finally found it." The first small step. Want to make this manageable? Start small. Choose 1 or 2 items each week to replace with a lower sodium option. Cook 1 more meal at home. Skip the table salt for 1 meal a day. These small shifts add up over time, and your heart will thank you for every one. Now that we've cut back the salt, let's talk about what to add to your plate. Because heart health isn't just about avoiding the bad, it's about nourishing your body with the right fuel. And there's one eating plan backed by decades of science that does exactly that. It's called the DASH diet, short for dietary approaches to stop hypertension. Sounds technical, right? But here's the story. Back in the early 1990s, researchers at the National Institutes of Health were trying to figure out if food, real food, not pills, could lower blood pressure. They ran a landmark study with hundreds of participants. One group ate the standard American diet. The second group ate a diet packed with fruits, vegetables, low-fat dairy, whole grains, lean protein, and nuts, and reduced red meat, sweet saturated fat, and sodium. The results? Staggering. Within just 2 weeks, participants on the DASH diet saw significant drops in blood pressure, even without medication. And the longer they followed it, the more their heart markers improved. But the DASH diet isn't some bland, boiled broccoli lifestyle. It's colorful, flavorful, and totally doable. Let's break it down. DASH diet core principles. At its heart, the DASH plan is about balance. You're not starving or obsessing over calories. You're giving your body what it needs to thrive. Here's what fills your plate. Fruits and vegetables. Aim for 4 to 5 servings of each per day. Think a banana in the morning, salad at lunch, steamed broccoli or sweet potatoes at dinner. Whole grains, brown rice, quinoa, oats, and 100% whole wheat bread provide fiber that supports your arteries. Low-fat dairy. Yogurt, milk, and cheese in moderation give you calcium and protein without the extra saturated fat. Lean proteins, chicken breast, turkey, fish, tofu, and legumes, great for muscle and metabolism. Nuts and seeds, packed with heart-healthy fats and minerals. Just watch portion size, about a small handful a day. Limited red meat, sweets, and salt. You don't have to give them up entirely, but they should take a back seat, not the driver's seat. This isn't a diet you go on and off. It's a lifestyle approach that empowers your heart, protects your brain, and energizes your entire body. A sample day on DASH. Let's make it real. Here's what a simple, satisfying day might look like on the DASH diet. Breakfast: a warm bowl of oatmeal topped with banana slices and crushed walnuts, plus a glass of low-fat milk. Snack: a crisp apple with a spoonful of natural peanut butter. Lunch: a whole wheat wrap filled with grilled chicken, leafy greens, a drizzle of olive oil, and a side of baby carrots. Snack: a handful of almonds and a few grapes. Dinner: baked salmon seasoned with lemon and dill, a scoop of quinoa and roasted zucchini and bell peppers. Dessert: yes, dessert. A small bowl of fresh berries with a dollop of Greek yogurt. Sound delicious? That's the point. Food that supports your heart doesn't have to taste like cardboard. Shot real results, real people. Take Deborah, a 58-year-old teacher who'd struggled with blood pressure for years. She was skeptical at first. No way food can fix this, she thought. But after committing to the DASH diet for a month, her blood pressure dropped from 145/95 to 120/80. Her doctor was stunned. "You just rewrote your medical chart with a fork and spoon," he said. Thousands of people like Deborah have transformed their health with this simple shift. And here's what's even more exciting. The DASH diet doesn't just lower blood pressure. It also helps with weight loss, cholesterol control, diabetes management, and inflammation. It's a full-body upgrade with every bite. The science stands strong. Over the years, the DASH diet has been ranked as one of the best overall diets by U.S. News & World Report. Why? Because it's backed by research, easy to follow, and produces lasting health benefits. No gimmicks, no fads, just real food, real results. In fact, in a 2017 study published in the Journal of the American College of Cardiology, researchers found that people who closely followed the DASH diet had a lower risk of heart failure, especially those under age 75. Other studies show its effectiveness in reducing stroke and even improving kidney health. And just as you're getting the hang of DASH, here's a warm breeze off the coast of the Aegean to remind us, heart health can also be delicious. Let's travel to the sun-soaked hills of Greece, the vibrant markets of Italy, and the coastal kitchens of Spain, where one of the world's healthiest eating patterns has quietly nourished people for generations. We're talking about the Mediterranean diet, a lifestyle, not just a meal plan. Unlike the restrictive diets that come and go with headlines, the Mediterranean way of eating is grounded in centuries of tradition. It's flavorful, flexible, and full of life, not to mention backed by some of the strongest scientific evidence when it comes to heart health. What is the Mediterranean diet? At its core, the Mediterranean diet reflects the traditional eating patterns of people living near the Mediterranean Sea. Researchers first took notice in the 1950s, when they observed that people in regions like Crete, southern Italy, and parts of Spain had remarkably low rates of heart disease, despite consuming fats and carbs, something that defied the norms of Western thinking at the time. The secret? It wasn't about cutting fat, it was about choosing the right kind of fat and eating mostly whole, plant-based foods. Here's how it works. Olive oil is the star of the show. It's used not just for cooking, but drizzled on salads, soups, and even bread. Rich in monounsaturated fats and antioxidants like polyphenols, it helps lower LDL, bad cholesterol and reduce inflammation in the arteries. Vegetables and fruits aren't side dishes, they're the foundation. Think colorful plates full of roasted eggplant, grilled peppers, leafy greens, tomatoes, and citrus. Whole grains like barley, bulgur, and farro replace refined white flour. These grains are loaded with fiber and help stabilize blood sugar and improve cholesterol levels. Legumes and nuts, such as lentils, chickpeas, almonds, and walnuts, are consumed almost daily, providing plant protein, fiber, and heart-healthy fats. Fish and poultry take the place of red meat, which is eaten sparingly, usually just a few times per month. Fatty fish like salmon and sardines bring in omega-3s, known to reduce triglycerides and improve arterial function. Wine in moderation, particularly red wine, is a common inclusion often enjoyed with meals, but it's optional and certainly not a requirement. It's a diet that tastes like Sunday lunch at grandma's house, one that doesn't count calories or eliminate food groups, but focuses on quality, balance, and joy in eating. Proven heart benefits. Now, let's talk science. In 2013, the landmark PREDEM study made global headlines. Researchers followed more than 7,000 people at high risk for cardiovascular disease in Spain. The group that followed a Mediterranean diet, supplemented with either extra virgin olive oil or mixed nuts, had a 30% lower risk of heart attack, stroke, or death from heart-related causes, compared to those on a low-fat diet. Let that sink in. Not only did they eat more fat, they were healthier for it, because the fats were natural and beneficial. Another review published in the New England Journal of Medicine concluded that the Mediterranean diet reduces LDL cholesterol, decreases inflammation, improves insulin sensitivity, lowers risk of cardiovascular and all-cause mortality. And those benefits weren't just short-term. Even years later, participants who stayed with this lifestyle saw continued improvements in blood pressure, weight, and overall vitality. So, what does a Mediterranean day look like? Let's paint the picture of a simple, heart-loving day. Breakfast: Greek yogurt topped with fresh berries, chia seeds, and a drizzle of honey. Maybe a slice of whole grain toast with smashed avocado and olive oil. Lunch: a big bowl of salad with tomatoes, cucumbers, olives, arugula, and grilled chicken, tossed in a homemade olive oil and lemon dressing. Snack: a handful of raw almonds or walnuts, or maybe a few dates. Dinner: grilled salmon with a side of roasted vegetables and herbed quinoa. Maybe a small glass of red wine. Dessert: fresh fruit, think figs, oranges, or a chilled watermelon slice. Easy takeaway: plants, olive oil, and fish first. That's the simplest way to remember it. If you're ever unsure what to put on your plate, start with plants, reach for olive oil, and choose fish more often than red meat. You don't have to be in a coastal village to eat like this. You can Mediterraneanize your meals right in your own kitchen. Just start small. Swap butter for olive oil, add a veggie to every meal, make fish once or twice a week, and use herbs and lemon instead of heavy sauces. The Mediterranean diet isn't a crash course. It's a long-term love affair with your heart. So now that we've explored the core of each approach, low sodium, DASH, and Mediterranean, you might be wondering, which one should I follow? Here's the good news. You don't have to choose just one. These diets aren't competing. They're overlapping allies in your journey to better heart health. In fact, when we peel back the labels and really look at the ingredients, values, and goals, they all speak the same language. Fresh, whole foods, less processed junk, and a heart that beats stronger every day. If your primary concern is high blood pressure, the DASH diet is your best bet. It was literally designed to stop hypertension. With its emphasis on potassium-rich produce, low-fat dairy, lean proteins, and reduced sodium, it's been clinically shown to lower blood pressure in as little as 2 weeks. But if you're looking for a long-term lifestyle that's as joyful as it is healthy, then the Mediterranean diet might feel more like home. Its flexible, flavorful style makes it easier to stick with. And thanks to decades of research, it's not just heart healthy. It's also linked to lower rates of cancer, Alzheimer's, and type 2 diabetes. Now, if you've already been diagnosed with hypertension, have kidney disease, or you know you're salt sensitive, a low-sodium diet is absolutely essential. Reducing your sodium intake can significantly ease the strain on your arteries and lower your risk of heart failure. Still, the best heart diet isn't found in a textbook, it's found in your kitchen. It's what fits your tastes, your culture, your budget, and your daily rhythm. Maybe that's oatmeal with berries in the morning, grilled veggies with olive oil at dinner, Mediterranean, and a conscious effort to skip the salt shaker, low sodium. It's not about being perfect. It's about being intentional. So instead of asking which diet is best, ask yourself, what healthy habit can I start today and sustain for the rest of my life? That's the diet that wins, every time. So, how do you take all of this powerful information and actually make it part of your life, without overhauling everything overnight? The answer: small, consistent habits. Habits that stack up day by day until they become second nature and your heart quietly thanks you for it. First up, become a label detective. Yep, flip those packages over. Sodium and saturated fat are the two silent saboteurs hiding in your pantry. Aim for foods with less than 140 milligrams of sodium per serving. That's considered low sodium. And keep saturated fat to under 10% of your daily calories. Better yet, choose items with little to no label at all, like fresh produce. Next, reclaim your kitchen. Cooking at home doesn't mean gourmet meals every night. It means you know exactly what's going into your food and what's not. Try roasting a batch of vegetables on Sunday. Grill or bake your proteins. Use spices, garlic, lemon, and herbs to bring bold flavor without the salt. Here's a visual hack that works every time. Fill half your plate with vegetables. Colorful, fiber-rich veggies like spinach, broccoli, carrots, or bell peppers aren't just good for your heart. They help with digestion, blood pressure, and even mood. The other half, a quarter for lean protein like salmon or beans, and a quarter for whole grains like quinoa or brown rice. Snacks, ditch the chips, swap them for almonds, walnuts, or a piece of fruit. These smart swaps keep your energy steady and your arteries happy. And speaking of sneaky sources of trouble, sugary drinks are one of the biggest culprits behind heart issues. Sodas, sweet teas, even flavored coffee drinks, they add up fast. Trade them out for herbal tea, sparkling water, or just plain water with a slice of lemon. Remember, it's not about being perfect every day. It's about tipping the balance little by little toward better choices. Your heart doesn't need perfection, it needs consistency. So as we wrap up today's video, here's what I want you to remember. Your heart isn't asking for perfection, it's asking for consistency. Every healthy bite is an act of love toward your future self. Whether it's choosing olive oil instead of butter, saying no to that third soda, or tossing a handful of greens on your dinner plate, these aren't just food choices, they're life choices. And they add up in the best possible way. If this video gave you a new perspective or reminded you of something important, hit that like button. Subscribe to Senior Health Source for weekly videos that help your heart stay strong and your life stay full. And most importantly, share this with someone you care about. A single change in their plate could be a turning point in their life. We're here every week with practical science-backed tips to help you live longer, healthier, and more empowered, because your best years are still ahead. See you in the next video.